what makes this an opportunity? What makes this something that you think is the vehicle for the next chapter in your life?
Good question. So the best way I can break it down is reselling, like most of us have done. It all revolves around you getting the inventory by any means that you can go out to get it. So whether that's thrift stores, whether that's going online through an arbitrage program, that whatever you come up with, a lot of people do eBay to Amazon, that type of deal. That was going great. Could I have stayed and went full time doing just that out of my basement? Yes. I needed more. When I say more, the way I'm wired, if I just stayed at home to work, I don't think I'd get anything done. I have to have somewhere to go where I know, okay, I'm here. This is what I'm doing from this time frame to this time frame. That was the first thing. So how would I do that? My own brick and mortar store. I think in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to have some type of business of my own. I've done all kinds of odd and end side jobs throughout the years. I had a gunsmithing business on the side for a few years. That's one of the great things about where I'm at, being a fireman. We've got so much time off that we can do other things. So that's what led into this. So the prospect of starting another business really didn't scare me that much because I'd kind of already been down that road. So getting back with the why not stay with just online. Everything was going great. We can get in numbers of that later. Probably started in, I would say, 2020, maybe 21, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. But the main thing that I wanted to be able to do for sourcing was have stuff come to me. I know there's a lot of big resellers online, like Chase After the Right Price. He talks about different tiers of reselling. And one of his is where you have collections come to you. Kind of the same, but kind of different because he doesn't have a brick and mortar. He just got a heavy online presence. And with the YouTube, he's got websites out there that people just reach him through that and then go through. So it's kind of the same thing. He's reaching obviously a wider audience than I am, but this is just the start for me. So that's kind of where I was at. So the able to get out of the fire department, have somewhere specifically to go with a structured schedule to keep doing that, and then have inventory come to me, as well as me still sourcing online in the same avenues that I had before.
That makes sense. And I can relate to the need to scale because that's kind of where we're at with our business model. And the audience knows my wife and I, reselling is one of our verticals as a business, one of the ways that we generate income, but we don't at all profess to do it the full-time scale that you do, that Chase does, that a lot of these YouTubers do. But at the same time, having an audience, having a presence where there's something coming in sure does save you a lot of hours in the long run.
Absolutely.
You've been doing the business full-time now? You're full-time right now? Is that correct with the game store?
I'm full-time, part-time. So I'm there every day that I'm not at the fire department. So I'm technically not full-time because that's not the only means of income that we have.
You're treating it like a full-time job.
Yes, I mean it is. I've got 2 full-time jobs. That's we'll call it what it is.
Gotcha. Having this vertical set up, are you already seeing the results of the inventory coming in to justify the work that you've done, or is this something that you're still working towards?
Yes. So the area that I'm in, we don't have any privately owned game stores. We just have GameStop and Game Exchange. I think Game Exchange may be a local southern chain. I'm not sure if it's up north or not, but that's the only 2 options we have here. And everybody knows how on the fence GameStop is. Are they out of business? Are they going out of business? What is it this week? So that was one of the other reasons is I saw a need here, and somebody had to fill it. So why not me?
Right on. So take us through what the day in the life of owning a game store looks like.
Mass chaos. No.
It's an honest answer.
So yeah. It's I'm trying not to give the same reaction that you see a lot of game store owners give on YouTube when they get interviewed. So it started out with just me and my wife, and then we would only be open. I'm trying to think of our original hours. It was Tuesday through Saturday, or it may have been in Wednesday through Saturday, but it was the days that I was off from the fire department. Mm. So right now I work a 24 on, 48 off schedule with the fire department. So every third day I'm at the fire station. So the game store would revolve around that when we would be open. That was doing okay. I was matching, I'm trying to remember how many months we did that. Probably 3 months we did that with just the two of us, mainly me. We were matching what we were doing online with sales, and then still getting in inventory that we wouldn't otherwise. I would say definitely more higher end inventory than we would just sourcing the way that we were before. Just again, word of mouth, spreading around, advertising. People know we're there, coming in, bringing stuff in. And then probably 3 months into it, we hired our first employee, and that quickly began to pay off massively. That allowed us to open up more days. We were open Tuesday through Saturday, regardless of if I was at the station or not. He was able to run the store while I was at the station, which is a blessing 10 times over. He has been awesome. Probably 2 months after that, right when we went to the first employee, I would say sales at least doubled. Obviously, we're open more, so that's a lot of that. But I know we were starting to get a lot of people that would come by when we were closed. People wouldn't understand our schedule. They would come by when we were closed. They'd get mad. I get it. Not everybody understands my schedule. So that was a definite need to get someone in there to be open more days a week. So that paid off tenfold. Probably 2 months after that, we hired our second employee, and it just continued to grow. So every month from, I would say, March of last year to June was just a straight rocket trajectory, which was, I'm so blessed for that, so thankful. The second employee did awesome. Both guys are great. They run the store while I'm gone. I have no worry with them. They're probably even more frugal than I am when it comes into trade credits and things like that. So on the business side, very great, very great. But they're very knowledgeable in different aspects than I am. So I think we've got a great blend right now of that. It's been a slow, steady process, which was fine. I would say getting the employees was the biggest jump that helped us smooth things out. Like I said in the opening response, chaos. Trying to do all this by myself, especially on a Saturday, was just insane. Just dealing with the normal customers was one thing, but then you'd have someone bring in a decent sized collection. Well, now I've got to process all that while still dealing with customers and try to do all that the fastest that I can. So that was, in my opinion, that was the biggest hindrance if you want to go that route. Just because it was taking time on the customer side that I didn't want to take their time away from.
You mentioned something in there that I'm just now realizing is a new factor for your business model versus the online business model. You know, getting a collection and figuring out exactly how much you can afford to pay someone is something that it's a challenge to figure out. But after you get a formula in place, it's something you can do relatively quickly and efficiently. You have inventory. You have store credit. What has that done to the whole equation for you?
The store credit adds a completely game-changing factor to the taking in inventory. We'll still say that's called sourcing. We'll still go that avenue with it. Okay. So before, as just an online reseller, that option is not available to you. Well, I'll take that back. You could make trades with people. That does happen. A lot of people will try to take brand new consoles and trade those for older game systems and try to double the value. So that's not really out of the realm, but it's not as more convenient as the store credit is. So it's kind of the same, but a little different. But back to my point, it's been massive because I essentially have very little cost into this inventory that's going out that they're wanting, and then very little cost in what they're bringing in through the store credit. Typically store credit, that's one thing I try to pride myself on, is being at least double the store credit what GameStop and Game Exchange do. Typically, just a base value, they're around 15 to 20%. Some is more, some is less. I may be a little off on that, but that's typically where it is in our area. I try to be around 60% on the good stuff. And I'll step into that for a little bit. That's where we had a little bit of a downfall when we started, was trying to figure out the store credit, the trade credit, cash value when we first opened. But I try to be as reasonable as I can, because I know everybody gets mad when they go into GameStop. Shortly after we opened, we had someone bring a Xbox Series X to us. They said they went to GameStop and they offered them $81.
Wow.
To buy it from them. Yeah. Because, I'm trying to think of what they were saying. They were saying that it had some scuffs on it and that it was going to have to go to their refurbishment company. Yeah, to get all that lined out. That's bull crap, man. That is just horrible. It's nothing that spraying some goof off on a rag and wiping the console down wouldn't have fixed. But that's what you deal with when you've got a chain store. The employee, don't blame the employees. It's not their fault. They're just dealing with what the cards they were dealt. It sucks, I know, but that goes back to me wanting to open another option.